Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a first impressions video. This is the Civivi Qubit. Now, I've actually got a little story that goes along with this. I was down in Toronto for a funeral. I wasn't that far from S&R Knives, so I went over there to sort of check it out. And it's my first time ever going in there in person. Great store, very helpful, very friendly. I was allowed to check out, I had him dragging knives out of every case all over the place. A couple of times you just open the case and we're like, here you go, just take a look at anything you want. So very, very good. He did, by the way, know I had a YouTube channel. We did talk a little bit about that, so that may impact the reception, but I really don't think so. I think if you're a knife enthusiast and you're going in there genuinely to look and possibly buy something, I think you're going to get the same kind of reception. But I wanted to share that with you. That's where this knife came from, S&R Knives, and it was purchased in person. Now, what happened with that is I'm looking at a bunch of knives. There are a few things that I toyed with buying. Of course, buying knives in Canada is definitely a struggle for me because the prices are so much better in the US that I basically buy everything I have from there. Anyway, I did bite the bullet and overpay a little for this. Now, I did get a bit of a deal as well, so that's nice. And if you have cash, you may be able to work out something if you go into S&R Knives. All right, now, having said all of that, what was it that drew me to this knife? Because frankly, this is too small for me. This is not a knife that I should really be that interested in, but the color, of course, stood out. I was looking at a few different knives in the Civivi bin, or the Civivi counter, I guess, and I picked this one up, and I have to say, as soon as I picked it up, the action was so satisfying. This is definitely one of the funnest knives I've fidgeted with in a while. And that's the main reason that I bought it. It feels so good in hand for a small knife. And it is too small for me. And every time I get it out, I do kind of think I wish it was bigger. But nonetheless, for a small knife, this is actually pretty darn excellent. Let me give you a quick rundown on the features and then the size and my initial thoughts about this. So 14C28N up front, flat ground, black washed blade, thumb stud deployment, button lock, bearing pivot, and of course we have this really brightly colored, brightly anodized aluminum handle. Now to me, the black and red really just pop. All right, so that was, sitting in the counter among a bunch of other knives, this really, really stood out. And that was one of the things that drew me to it. And then when I got it in hand and was able to play with it a little bit, I was so impressed. So the action is highly, highly enjoyable here. That's one of the big stories about this knife. It is a little too small for me, but the handle feels really good. The other feature I want to touch on before we move away from this, solid aluminum handles I think are great. The anodizing gives just enough strength. We haven't touched on standoff construction here. A button lock we have already mentioned. And of course, you've probably already picked up on this as you've been looking, but we have a deep carry clip recessed into the handle. It's also recessed on the left side. So this is, an easily reversible clip. It's still not an ambidextrous knife exactly because the button lock is only on one side. It can't be moved. Perhaps those of you who are lefties, if someone would comment down below, to me, I find if I pass this knife back and forth from hand to hand, all right, I can still make it work pretty well, left-handed or right-handed. And so because of that, I suspect that maybe button locks get a bit of a pass in terms of lock function for left-handers. I could be totally imagining that, so let me know down in the comments below if you're a lefty. You probably don't watch the channel because I'm always picking on you guys for when I talk about how I don't really care if they make knives ambidextrous or not. As long as it works for me, I'm happy. But nonetheless, it has potential to be more comfortable for lefties. Quick rundown on the numbers, 7 3/16 overall. So a little shorter than I like. In fact, quite a bit shorter than I like. I wish, if this came as an 8-inch knife, it would be fantastic. Like, I would just be completely ranting and raving about how great it is. The blade is just a hair under 3 inches at 2 15/16, 4 1/4 inches when closed. So that's a pretty compact package. It's not great blade to handle ratio, but it's not terrible. The grip area here is 3 5/8, which is lots of room for my large size hands, and 2.7 ounces on the weight. When you're carrying this in pocket, you really don't even know you've got it. So there you go, guys. That's a quick rundown. Very compelling folder. You know, smaller than I enjoy, but it looks phenomenal. This is a really, really attractive design. Feels great in hand. So satisfying on the action. And again, I have to reiterate, Civivi, if you're watching this, please, please, please make an XL Qubit. That would be, you know, a dream come true for me, because I already love this design. I already love a lot of things about this. Just the size is a little small for me, so a bigger one would be amazing. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check those channel sponsors. It's a big help to the channel. We will talk to you soon.